She Can, we tell women's stories. We show how women got to where they are today, to be role models for others and to serve others, and to show the path that they walked so others can forge their ways forward. I'm very excited to talk to Jessica Hardman today. Jessica, welcome to She Can. You're the CEO of DWS, the UK group, and also the head of European real estate portfolio management. DWS is one of the world's leading asset managers with over 896 billion euros in assets. You have come very kindly through a friend, Audrey Klein, who is a partner at Spencer House Partners. Jessica, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me and letting me be part of this very impactful group of women that I see there on She Can. So my role today is running the UK branch of DWS. DWS is a big investment manager doing all sorts of types of investing, both in real estate, which is where I came from, and I'll talk a little bit more about that industry, but also funds investing in the stock market, in sustainable assets, in infrastructure, and many, many more that I haven't mentioned. My day-to-day role here is running the office for the UK, which is about 450 people, all doing all of those different activities, as well as finance and legal and those great collaborators to help us raise funds and work on our most important thing, which is on behalf of investors. So these are corporate, insurers, pension funds. For those who are listening in, your pension fund might be somewhere invested via our experts in DWS, and also consumers as well. So that's a little bit of like what I do in the day job, running the office. But I'd love to tell you a bit more about perhaps my story and how I got into a role like this. And I've been in the industry for, over 20 years now. And I was inspired to actually join the real estate industry, the real estate investment industry, taking a bunch of A-levels in the UK and deciding what do I do with them. I'm a very personable person. I like negotiating, and I had a real passion for the built environment. You know, let's not forget that there's a great statistic that we spend 90% of our time indoors, and the real estate industry provides what the indoors looks like, whether you're in a school, in a residential building, office, you're working in a warehouse, or you're visiting your gym at the weekend. You know, real estate is all around you, and that really inspired me to go into the sector as well. So I started off as a chartered surveyor, which is a qualification you take in real estate, especially in the UK and Europe. And from that went into brokerage, and then eventually found my way through Deutsche Bank and now DWS. And what I really like about using those skill sets are the fact that I engage with investors all around the world, because that's a primarily part of my job. I also add my comments and research to building out strategies, whether we're going to invest in European residential or a strategy that has offices and industrial. I think it's really interesting seeing the sort of revolution of real estate and where the future may lie with technology and sustainability, which are two big thematics for the sector as well. So I spent a lot of my time engaging with global advisors as well as investors on those topics.
Jessica, thank you so much for that explanation. That was so clear. Now, you've just been talking about it. What are the trends for 2024 and beyond?
Yes, so the world of finance has been through quite a ride over the last couple of years. Interest rates rising wherever you are in the world. We've seen and experienced that, both if you own your own home, you've seen it, as well as in the investor side. And so for real estate particularly, that's had to relook at the sort of financial argument, the why to invest in real estate, and represent where real estate might play if you had a portfolio of different options, whether you invest in the stock market or you invest in government bonds. These all have to be looked at in the case when you're looking at real estate. Does it compete And so for real estate, it's been quite through quite a ride. We've seen a lot of devaluation in that sector. However, we are coming really to the end of that devaluation and the market gets reset. And I think it's a really exciting time now for 2024 and 2025. So we're sort of saying, and I totally believe in it, this is at the vintage time. We're at the end of the last cycle and the start of the next cycle, and prices have been corrected. And then for us, there's a lot of interesting opportunity now to invest investors' capital into both the European, US, and Asia markets, looking at strong thematics around growth of residential, more people wanting to live in high quality residential, the conversion of high quality offices, very strong green agenda, and also the fact that we buy more things online, and therefore you need warehouses, you need facilities to be able to support the supply chain of getting those goods to you. You also need that as well. So there's lots of innovation going on within the sector at the moment.
Jessica, thank you for that. What would you say is your main motivator in what you do?
Yes, the thing I think about most often is really representing my investors. So I'm absolutely there for them. So we call it a fiduciary responsibility. I must put their interests ahead of anything else and choose wise investments according to the risk they want to take, the region they want to invest in, or even as far as the asset class that they would like to prefer to invest in. And so what really motivates me is creating strategies with them, discussing their needs, and then executing on that with the great colleagues I have surrounding me in DWS. So that gets me out of bed in the morning. And I have the opportunity to do that in a very sociable industry. So real estate is a real networked industry. It is one of the great signs of what a network can do for you. And I really enjoy using my network and meeting new people, and that are all relevant when I come to do my day job as well.
Jessica, and what would you say are your main qualities that serve you every day in what you do?
I am definitely a positive person, and I think that helps because obviously there's tough parts of this job, underwriting, dealing with difficult market conditions, trying to find new ways of innovating and coming up with new opportunities. That can be a really interesting part, but also you can have difficult days where you need to deal with a lot of complexity. I think having a positive, ambitious spirit, I'm very interested in growth and new innovations, and being inquisitive to learn different things. And that has really helped me throughout my career, being able to jump on new projects, whether they were within my skill set or something new to learn. It's kept the role really interesting for me, and the company I work for has also been at the forefront of innovation and growth. So we've been very well aligned over the years.
Jessica, so give us some top tips for young women coming into the asset management business or real estate business. What tips would you give them?
Yeah, so there is a broad plethora of roles that you can do in asset management and in real estate. There's many different industries that are covered by investment managers. So if you're a person that loves the detail and loves to really underwrite, run cash flow models, or you're interested in the legal or the compliance, there's a role for you. If you're someone who really loves to meet people, to present product, so it's like more of a sales type role, there's a role for you. And if you're someone who's interested in physical assets versus the stock market, there's a role for you. So what I really love about it is, please explore the whole range of what you can do in investment management. I think it's a great career. We're like here, I spend a lot of time thinking about female finance. So what can women do working for a financial organization, but also how do we invest best for women as well, who may have a different trajectory to a man in terms of her financial journey. And so I think my top tip is explore all the different ways you can come into the industry. There is a role for you. And secondly is to network. And I'm sure many of your previous speakers have talked about this. You're only as strong as your network. And I really do believe that, because my network has really enabled me to learn more or be connected to people that can help me grow a new avenue of investing. And I think that's been a really great investment for me to spend my time with my network, and vice versa. So I would say to network and then look at all the broad opportunities that this industry has.
Thank you, Jessica. Now, you just spoke about women in your field. How important are women investors for you? How do they invest differently? And do you feel that it's important for women to have an advisor on the other side, for example?
Yeah, so I think there's a real growth for men and women about being more educated at home about how you might manage your finances. So we certainly see a big rise in the wealth management services. And so as someone who might put funds out there for someone to buy, I think it's really important that these are clear, they come well researched, the interaction online is easy for someone to make their own choice, whether they have an advisor or not. So I think that's certainly where we see the industry moving. So more consumers taking control of their financial journey, rather than always relying on an advisor. So I think that's one thing. And I think women are great, balanced investors. So they can understand risk, but they can understand opportunity. And, we often see, which is why we support for diversity at all our senior levels, is that we need a balanced, diverse group to make great decisions. And I think women have a really strong part to play in both in the roles in finance, as well as making their own financial choices as well. So I think women love clear, concise, efficient education around this topic. And that's something that I think the industry still needs to continue to drive for.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Jessica, so what are you most proud of to date?
Yeah, so I didn't come from a traditional finance background, so I sort of found myself into this career, and I'm proud that I've managed to convert my skills as a young woman into running now a large part of an organization. And that path weaved around a little bit, but I kept optimistic and I worked hard and I sought opportunity. I do that, and was I really intent on having a clear plan at the time? And I probably wasn't fully, but I'm proud now that those skills have really driven me forward. And now I'm also proud that I get to engage with lots of other people in similar situations that may have not thought they had the right education or the right contact at university or whatever to be able to get into these industries. And therefore, being a role model to be a diverse person coming into what has been quite a traditional part of the finance industry, I'm very proud of that as well. And then also just the ability to work globally. So I work with cultures all around the world, different investors with different needs, and learning that adaptability to how your style might be is all something that has come with age and experience, and I'm proud of seeking that out.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jessica. So what are your future plans? What is in store for you in DWS in the next years?
Yeah, so we're very interested in continue to create really innovative products. So we see technology playing a strong part in real estate going forward. It already does, but that will continue to make our processes more efficient, make us use more data to be informed when we make investment strategy, and then technology just within our buildings. So the rise of data centers, how we support renewable energy, etc. So I think these are very interesting areas that DWS are looking into, and will continue to try and wrap strategy and capabilities around that as well. And then really working as a cohesive team. I haven't mentioned too much, but this is a team effort. it's certainly not a single person sport. So I really look forward to developing great people around me to support our next growth initiative.
Jessica, I'm so grateful to you for telling us your story, for showing what a woman's journey in the asset management world can look like, a successful one. Thank you so much for being a role model.